Hello and welcome to Tech A Break, the podcast where we take a short break from the day-to-day and talk to business owners. No Adam again today. Slacker. That's actually very unfair. He's working away. Even though he said he would be here for most of the podcast, he's already missed most of this year. However, I am very pleased to introduce a guest who has travelled miles, literally about 5 steps. Please introduce yourself and where you're from.
I'm Martyn Cheney and I own Cheney Payroll Consulting and Bureau Services Limited.
Well, there we go. One of the things that we ask is, how did you get your business name? That's not a particularly difficult question for you.
No, we struggled for ages trying to decide what does the business do. So we thought we'd just throw it all in there.
And why not?
And and it's just a mouthful to say and type.
Yeah, but even so, though, it defines exactly what you do. So, So, great to have you on Tech A Break. Thank you so much. Now, I've done my homework. I have scoured your website and got a few questions there. According to your website, and I don't believe this because you're only 22, you've spent decades in the payroll world. How does it start? How did you start in that?
So normally payroll chooses you. You don't choose payroll. It's one of those jobs that nobody ever goes into with the intention of making a career out of it. So back in the late 80s, I was a YTS on the railway.
Right, okay.
And all my peers on my year group got permanent jobs in travel centres.
Right.
And we did a bit of travel centre training, so we now knew how to work the ticket machines. And you have to read timetables. I can still do the paper timetables.
Excellent.
But I knew at 16 years old, I didn't want to work with the public. I didn't want to be dealing with their questions.
Yes, I know what you mean.
So I was the last one out of my year to get a position. And I ended up working in payroll at a depot out at Wakefield.
Right.
Which is a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, not being able to drive. Caused one or two problems, as it's literally in the middle of the country. So it was a bus, a train, another bus, and then a mile and a half walk down to the depot.
Oh, my goodness me.
But yeah, started in payroll in 88 and not looked back since.
So was it something, and you're right, I don't think I have ever heard, when you speak to children, what do you want to be? I want to work in payroll. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that. So what was it about payroll? Again, did it choose you? Was it a case of it's the only job going, or did you specifically want to work with figures?
You generally find people are either a word person or a number person.
Yeah.
And I'm a number person. And so
it just works.
Yeah, it makes sense. Numbers don't lie. You can't.
Very true.
They do lie, and you can pay people down, but that's another story. But basically, at that point, it was a job that was on offer, and the YTS was only a year.
Right.
So I was coming up for my year, so I'd had to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So this dropped really lucky, and off we went.
Off we went. So when you got there, obviously you must have had somebody that you were working with or working under. Was it a big team? Was it a single person?
There was 3 of us. So we looked after the payroll for the depot we were at and all the signal boxes round and about, as still British Rail back then.
Yeah.
And we still paid out in cash, and all the drivers were like 73.
Because you remember when you got the brown envelopes, literally cash in it.
We had clear envelopes, and you had to, and the pay slips were long, thin things. Fold them in half, and then you had to fan the money inside so that you could count it without opening your packet.
Oh gosh, right.
Oh, I hated it.
I was going to say you don't even think about these things here. So that must have been a fairly intensive labour job.
The packing the payroll was pretty. Yeah, it was horrible. It was Wednesday morning. Security Corps brought the cash to the depot. We barricaded ourselves in the room.
Yes.
We all made up the packets because we'd got about 800 or 900 packets to make up.
Gosh.
Yeah. So we're talking a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then Security Corps would come and take it all away again. Then they'd bring it back on Thursday morning.
Right.
And we had a little pay office downstairs in the depot that was secure, 3-inch glass.
Yes, all that.
And then we also did a thing called pay run.
Right.
So we went to all the signal boxes and we all took it in turns, delivering the cash to signal boxes for the signallers.
Gosh almighty.
Which again, we had to go different routes every week because of cash security. If anybody ever followed us, then they would have realised that one of our last stops would be Hector Ellis's pie shop in Barnsley.
Can't think why.
Hey, those pork pies were to die for. They were all fresh and the juices.
Stop it! I'm getting hungry already. This is fantastic.
So that was the highlight of the pay run. I mean, you're walking down tracks and you'd see all these grumpy old men that were sat in a signal box on their own for 8 hours. It's not. Hector Ellis's pies.
Oh my goodness!
I often wonder if it's still going, if the place is still open, because they were. Yeah,
they were the best.
Yeah, we'd have to ring an order in on a Thursday morning because everybody on the depot wanted some.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
So we'd come back with a couple of trays full.
But that was a fabulous job to do. Absolutely right. The smell of driving back with all of I can just imagine.
Yeah, bouncing around in a little either Sherpa van.
Right, no.
Sherpa van or a Maestro van type thing. All sorts of nasty. Wasn't. Yeah.
But you do forget, don't you, Martyn? Because I remember when I was way back silicon mouldings with 80s, you all had to turn up, and then back then it was a little brown packet, and then you'd open it up, and then somebody'd had to count it. If you paid a certain particular rate, you could hear the jingling of the coins. All of that's gone now, isn't it? It's all electronic.
Yeah. I mean, there's still a few that do pay cash, and there's obviously people that do it under the table and pay cash in hand, but we don't have aught to do with those people.
No, we don't.
But pretty much cash is gone.
Yeah, cash is gone. I think I've seen recently more people taking to social media saying cash is now king for small businesses, because obviously if you do take payment, the big companies just take a percentage of it every time. With cash, it's 100% your money.
Yeah, and when I go places, I do try and pay cash myself. Yeah. But knowing how the business works, everybody wants, and we have to facilitate paying companies.
Yes.
Through faster payments and other third-party solutions, which is much easier than sitting with a pile of notes, counting, folding, and making sure they're found, and then and then if you realise when you get to the end, you've done 800 packets and you've got a tenner left. You've got to go through every packet till you find it.
I don't even want to know about that. So obviously there was times when that happened.
Yeah.
And you literally had to go back. Can I just ask, was it sod's law? Was it always the last 5 that you did?
No. Sometimes you drop lucky and it was in the first 10 that you'd just done. But sometimes there were. Twice we had somebody stole money.
No. Oh my goodness me. Ruthless people.
Yeah. But they were people we worked with. Once the guy took a tenner once, and then he took a packet.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a fun afternoon and evening being grilled by.
No, it was
police.
No, you're joking, aren't you? Sarcastic. No.
I wish I was.
Yeah.
I wish I was, but no.
Sadly, I think in any wake of life, no matter what you do, people tend to be the, not being nasty, but they tend to be the awful part of the job, because you will get an unscrupulous person.
Yeah, temptation was too much for this person.
Absolutely,
We did get robbed once.
No. Were you there?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Tell us about that.
The building we were in, so the depot was a place called Healy Mills.
Right.
Just outside Wakefield in a village called Horbury. Or is it in Austin? One of the two.
Yeah.
Wakefield and Huddersfield, that sort of way on. Biggest marshalling yard in Europe when it opened.
Right.
Diverted the River Calder to put it there.
Oh, goodness me, so huge.
Yeah, but in the middle of nowhere and what's the word? Custom built building.
Yeah.
Second floor was the admin building. We'd got a big, thick, massive wooden door.
Yeah.
Well, wooden veneered door with metal.
Yeah.
Big metal things. But foolishly, people got into the habit of coming in, knocking on the door on a Wednesday, and other people let them in.
Yes.
And so, one day somebody came knocking at the door. The person went to look to see who it was, and there was one of the guys from downstairs with a guy with a gun behind him.
My goodness me.
Yeah, that was...
not fun at all.
No, but we gave him his box and off he went.
I think at the end of that, you just have to do, fine, it's not worth it. Yeah. Have the box, bye-bye.
Yeah. And I think that was the second time they'd been done.
Did they catch him in the end?
I have no idea.
No
Don't
idea.
remember. Don't remember.
No.
That was one of those times you don't want to remember. But
I can imagine it's like, you talk about people, God bless them, with stress and stuff like that. That is like oh my goodness me. The gun was real, and you're literally just going, take the money. Nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Goodness me, Martyn. That's
as a 17-year-old, that's earning £3,000 a year.
Yeah.
Christ, that was a lot of money back then.
Back then, it was a lot of money. So obviously, when you were doing that work, you just felt as though you'd fitted payroll, money, as you say, numbers. Everything just clicked.
Yeah, payroll and the atmosphere of the depot. So, whilst I've said before I'm not a people person, sat at the depot, would go downstairs to the mess room, and there'd be the drivers. And back in those days, train drivers were all old.
Yes, they would be.
It worked on seniority, so you had to wait for somebody to retire, and you all moved up a ladder, up the ladder until you actually got to the top link with all the good jobs. Yeah, but they were guys in the 60s.
Yeah, of course.
So there was a lot of old guys that remembered the steam days, and as a young kid, it was great listening to the stories and getting that.
Imagine.
Like the social history side of working on the railway. Now we used to go here and go there, and we used to take this train out, and we used to swim across this river and go to this pub and swim back across the river. And there was a big, massive drinking culture in the railway. So there was always pubs involved where you held 90% of the stories.
Yeah.
King's Cross Station, if you don't know, well, you know King's Cross.
Yes.
Just outside, there's I think it's now called the German Gymnasium.
Yes.
That used to be the British Rail Sports and Social Club.
Oh, goodness me, yeah.
And the railway had its own internal phone network. And they'd put a phone in the BRSA club for when the supervisor could ring and say, right, boys, we've got a training, come and dispatch this train.
Goodness me.
The platform staff would all come swanning out of the club.
Yeah.
Dispatch the train, go back and finish the pint.
Back then, though, it was a different time, wasn't it? It was, I won't say more relaxed, because obviously drinking in the workplace is never a good thing, not nowadays. But back then, you didn't know any better. It was just the way of the world.
Yeah, it's what people have done in generational. That's what the previous mob had done in them.
Yes, and the previous people.
And depending on which town you're in, certain pubs are for certain groups of staff.
Yes.
There was at King's Cross, at the back of Camden Town Hall, which is opposite St Pancras.
Yeah.
There's a little Irish pub, and that was where all the catering staff used to go.
Gosh.
And on the other side of the station, there was a pub halfway down there, and all the drivers used to go in there. In Doncaster, you've got the Railway and the Leopard pubs. The Railway was for the passenger staff,
right,
and all the freight staff from the building across the way went into the Leopard. And never the two shall meet. Yeah, it was it was really bizarre, but
yeah.
But
so how long were you there then?
88. I got made redundant in 2014.
Right.
So 27, 28 years.
Goodness me, that's a long time to be embedded into an industry such as British Rail. Yeah. And may I ask what the reason was? It just redundancy because they'd moved on, they'd got sold, or privacy, whatever it was?
Bit of ill health.
Right, bless you.
And decided that they'd been out of the business for a while, was no longer needed.
Oh, dear me. Right, okay then.
Hey ho.
Hey ho.
That gave me the opportunity to then set up on my own.
So was that when you did it? Right, okay then.
I'd had 6 months out. There was a recruiter that kept bugging me to take this contract on.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not sure I want to do it. I didn't have the self-confidence to do the contracting. Didn't think I could do it. It's like, look, I've got this job. I want you to do it. We'll pay for you to set your company up.
Right.
If you don't like it, that's fine.
Job done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here we are, 60 years. Well, we're on 11 years later.
11 years.
11 years still going strong. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's fantastic news. Yeah. It's lovely to hear from people how the business was set up. And, obviously we're on 115 episodes. There is some things that we have seen a pattern, myself and Adam, where, God bless, if it wasn't for, forgive me, the ill health, the redundancy, this would have never happened.
Yeah.
So you were effectively forced into it by the redundancy. But sometimes that's how great companies are formed.
Yeah, and if I'm honest, the franchise when I left, we were government owned.
Right, okay.
And then they became another franchise.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have survived that franchise in terms of the management style.
Right, yeah.
So probably a good thing to go with it.
Well, exactly. As you say, you're fighting fit now in terms of the business. That's fantastic news. No, well done. In terms of, again, your website, young sir, that you say that obviously paying people accurately and on time is done properly. I suppose payroll's one of those areas. You get paid. It's the right amount. You never hear from them again. If you pay somebody the wrong amount, by heck, they're on you like a ton of...
Yeah. And some people want the praise for doing a good job.
Yeah.
As long as my philosophy on it is that we're helping people.
Yes.
People need the wage. Just where you go to work, you go to earn. And if we pay somebody wrong, then that person can't feed their family.
Yes.
an extreme case, but that it could be
It could be, couldn't it?
especially the people that are on the minimum wage and you miss some overtime off, and that could be the difference between the person's kids having a treat that week and not. So it's really important that we get the wages right, because we are the lifeblood of what they do. If you've got an unhappy workforce, they're not going to come to work.
They're not, are they?
So we've got to try and make sure as a sector within the industry, payroll should be looking to pay as correctly and on time as possible.
No, absolutely.
In the news this week, you've had the NHS
Yes.
calling in bailiffs because they've been paying people wrong. That's scandalous. That makes me want to shout and scream and because that shouldn't be happening. The software should not be in a state that allows that to happen.
No, exactly right. And it's again, what comes across is your passion. And as we do with Resilient, I want to do a good service. I want people to be, yes, great. And obviously your customers want to be exactly the same,
Yeah, and I never want to hear from them. If I don't hear from them, I'm doing what I do. And that's good, and as long as they pay, and when the invoices go out, that's the when I start chasing.
That's the perfect company, isn't it?
Yeah,
you do the job. No, you don't. Again, respectfully, I say that about my customers. If I never hear from you, it must mean I'm doing a good job. Yeah. And I think very early on when I started Resilient, I got this one particular customer where he was actually saying, I want to pay you to look after the IT, Andy, and with the greatest respect, I never want to see you. Because if you're walking through that door, then something's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. And going back, way back when, there was, if you pay somebody wrong, it becomes I'm not going to say a habit, but you do it once, and then you do it a second time, and then the third time. And this particular guy was always on nights, never saw him, so he'd come with like 5 or 6 weeks worth of pay queries.
Oh, dear.
He's here again.
Yes.
It was a big bloke. He used to play rugby. Really good friend now, to be fair. But
strange how things happen.
Yeah, but it was one of those. We got into this routine of paying him wrong every few weeks.
Yeah.
And it's just
no, you don't understand. I must admit, things to do. I'm not a numbers person. So, the national insurance, the tax, God bless, that's why I've got my lovely Michelle doing. I'm just like, I have no idea. I don't know how I get paid. I have no idea. My wife just sorts it all out for me. And miraculously, at the end of the week, end of the month, I look at my bank and I go, hey, I've got money.
Yeah, and that's how it should be.
No, definitely. Again, going back to your previous life, if you want, Martyn. Back then, I remember people were paid weekly, whereas now, is it now industry? Is it monthly, like 99, or do you still have a mixture?
You've got a mixture of weekly, lunar, fortnightly, and monthly. You find like builders and those sorts of trades, the manual trades like to pay weekly.
Right.
Fortnightly seems to be for retail staff.
Okay, right.
They seem to have a history of paying fortnightly for some reason.
For some reason, I was going to say, yeah.
And then you get your lunar, which seem to be government.
Right.
Government or ex-government, so the railway always paid lunar.
Forgive me, I don't, what's lunar mean? Is it like...
That's every fourth week. So you get
fourth week,
13 paydays a year.
Gosh, hey, I'm in for that.
Yes, but that brings its own complications, and it's not as straightforward as salary divided by 12. It's salary, and it's not even divided by 13.
No, it can't. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
But so they're like ex-government and NHS schools, councils. They pay for weekly, and then everyone else does the monthly. Yeah,
we do monthly because it's easier for us. Excuse me. No, but that's great then. So in terms of that, I said you pushed, you made me redundant, and that's when you started the business. Do you think, again, respectfully, if the contractor hadn't have said, look, we'll do this, do you think you ever would have tried it out on your own?
No. No, I'd have found
another payroll job.
Yeah, a proper job, for want of a better. Working for somebody.
Working for somebody.
Rather than working with people, which is what I do when I'm contracting.
Yes, of course.
Working with them.
Yeah.
But definitely I wasn't looking for that sort of thing. I never gave it a thought. As part of my redundancy package, I got some support from like a career consultant.
Of course, yeah.
Working somewhere for 27 years, never had to write a CV since I left school.
I was going to say, you wouldn't need to, would you?
It was internal application forms in the railway, so you didn't have to do that. So I got that as part of my package, and he talked about, shall we go through entrepreneurship, he called it.
Wow.
And I was like, no.
No, I'm not that, it's not for me.
Yeah. And now looking back, I wish I had said yes.
Yes.
But hey-ho.
Life changing though, so obviously you've been going for quite a while now. Surely you don't regret it. You must love it.
No, I don't. I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't. there's been a couple of times where I've thought I need to get a job because contracts have dried.
Yes.
But then I think, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work for
somebody else again.
Yeah, I've been there, I've done that, I've got that T-shirt. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then 15 contracts come at the same time and you can't do all of them.
It's
the
sod's
case.
law, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is sod's
Yeah.
law.
And during COVID, we went from the contracting dried up. And that's when I started the bureau side of it. When I set the business, it was purely contracting. I decided I didn't want to do payroll, run hands-on payroll anymore.
Yeah.
And then by COVID, I was like, I miss this.
Yeah.
And so, and I managed to get my first couple of clients during COVID because people were charging stupid amounts for working out furlough and putting in the returns for the relief, getting your money back from the COVID fund. People were charging stupid money for it, and I'm like, there's a niche here I can do. So that whilst the contracting money had dropped off, it was bringing a little bit back in.
Yes.
And then that's grown and grown and grown.
Nice. Well, that leads me on nicely because I say your website says you offer both a payroll bureau services and payroll consultancy. So again, for our listeners and me, what is the difference?
So consultancy is when I go and work for somebody else. I will go into a business, they're getting a new payroll system. They want somebody to help install that, migrate the data from old system to new system, run parallel runs between the old and new.
Of course.
Analyze that data, and those sorts of things. Or people have had the system for a while and they want somebody to come in and refresh it and say, look, can we do this better? Can you review our processes? And that's what we do. We go in and do that.
Nice. And so what's the balance? Is it mixture 50-50? Is it?
Contracting wise, I try and do that as much as I can because that brings in the nice
day-to-day money. Yeah, absolutely.
And then the bureau, I do that in my spare time.
What spare time?
Exactly. But I've also got my colleague who works with me and they do a lot of the bureau and they're coming there doing more hours now as the bureau's growing.
Oh, lovely.
So it'd be nice to do a split of the two, but the contracting work still appeals. It's not.
Of course.
It's getting, I won't say getting my hands dirty, but it's messing with calculations and writing the if-then statements and if this rate of pay does this and the paid person's paid weekly and divide this by that and come up with this figure. And that bit still interests me and still.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, still floats my boat.
Good. But isn't it interesting as well, though, that any business, you've got to diversify. You know, as you quite rightly said, when COVID came along, if you hadn't have done the other side, potentially the business would have dried up. Fine, I gave it a go. I'll go and find another job.
Yeah. So, I think one of the contracts I ended up running the payroll because the payroll team didn't believe in the changes and all went off sick. And that's what suddenly it's like, I actually enjoy doing this.
Yes.
Why have I not been doing this for all these years? And so, that sort of sparked the enjoyment of it again. Some people that do payroll, it's mental. But it's that satisfaction knowing that you've helped somebody you know that person's getting paid and you know that they're going to be able to feed there.
There's when I was before Resilient, I had a very, very, very good mentor, and I always remember him saying to me that when you look at any business, Martyn, whether it looks at the payroll, whether it's the cleaner, whether it's that, first of all, respect everybody; they're all on the same level, but you need those people. So some people might say, well, the cleaner just cleans, and said, but without the cleaner, so he used to call them the cogs. Without the cogs, you will notice a business will just begin to fall over. Payroll is an important cog. Some people, like me, I'd be like, I can't think of a worse job, because I hate numbers, I hate calculations, I don't want to get the result. But obviously it does, as you said, float your boat. Everybody has a niche of marketness. Yep. Everybody has a niche of a role. You found yours and it's perfect. People will just go, yep, thank you, Martyn, off you go.
and that's fine. I'm happy with my lot. And it allows me to do the stuff that I want to do outside of work when I get some spare time.
I was about to say when you get some spare time. No, that's really good though. So I'm trying to think of the right question here, but it's got down. Do the clients find you, or do you find the clients? And what I mean by that is that, like IT, I tend to find my clients because they've got a problem and they're looking for a solution. Is that the same with yourself, is what I'm getting at?
With the consultancy, that's more word of mouth, and there's a couple of agencies that we work with. LinkedIn comes in great for the contract.
Great, yeah, absolutely.
Not so much on the bureau side, a little bit, but not so much.
Right.
But yeah, the contracting is mainly word of mouth. It's people that you know, and they pass a word on to somebody else.
Of course.
So there's 4 of us that have worked on various contracts over the years, and we're always a phone of friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we all bounce ideas off each other because the systems we use in these businesses are too big for one person to know. The payroll, HR, the security, and when I speak to companies, I'm like, I do payroll. I can do a bit of HR, but I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be. If you want somebody that does HR, I'm not your man.
But you know a man who does, or man, but yeah, absolutely.
So I know my limitations, and I'm happy to say that this is my niche. With the bureau side, it's a mixture of people find us from the website, people find us from Facebook or wherever. And then there's we've just done a marketing campaign where we've just sent out, or in the process of sending out, 2,000 postcards to lots of businesses saying,
good,
you want to save some money on your payroll?
Yeah.
Give us a shout. So it's a bit of that. One of the guy we're working with runs an accountancy practice. So he doesn't want to do his payroll, doesn't want to employ, so he subcontracts that to me.
Perfect.
And he's just bought another accountancy practice, so that's bringing more customers in.
Of course.
And then so it's a mixture of everything with the bureau side.
No, I think it's wonderful, and one of the things that myself and Adam constantly say is it's having that trusted partner. And let's face it, if somebody trusts you to do the payroll, you are absolutely a trusted partner. But again, in terms of when we're talking about businesses, startups, we concentrate a lot on startup businesses. They all feel as though, but I can do that myself, because it's only me. And that's easy to do. The minute you start getting 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 employees, that's a burden that we say, no, find a trusted partner and offload it.
Yeah. In theory, payroll you can do yourself. The software's out there. Everyone thinks we just press a big red button and your payroll runs.
Yeah. It doesn't happen like that.
Not quite.
No.
But some of the software out there will let you run your own. But then you've got to be aware you've got to file your returns. You've got to send your submissions to HMRC. And that's where people go wrong. They just run the payroll and then don't do the submissions, and that's where it goes to pot for them sometimes.
No, but absolutely. But also taking into account all the other things, and even myself, when we're discussing with Michelle about that, there is the things: holiday, national insurance, time and a half when you work another weekend. You've worked overtime. You wanted, time in lieu. Honestly, that's why I just give it to Michelle and just sort that out for me.
Yeah, and that's fine. And that's our role in the world. We know that we've got the software that'll deliver that for you.
Yeah.
And job's a good one.
Oh, excellent in terms of that then. So again, if you don't mind me asking, Sen, so when do you feel that a business should seriously think and assume they don't get an enrolled department? What's a point within a business life do you feel that they should employ somebody like yourself to go, do you know what, I should be outsourcing this?
Every business is different. So you're going to have some people will just let their accountant do that for them because we'll run your payroll, it's not a problem, and that's fine. That's what I did for the first couple of years. Let my accountant do it, and then I'm looking, why am I paying this amount?
Correct.
Do it myself.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that didn't dawn on me from the off, but I didn't.
Sometimes things like that don't, Martyn.
Yeah. So, but everybody's different. Some people have the confidence to have a go and do it. Some people let their accountant do it. But once you start getting 2, 3, 4 people, then you need to. Then my view is you should be looking for somebody with the expertise.
Yes. To
do that for you, and you can rely on them to deliver what they say they're going to deliver.
I couldn't agree more. Certainly, if you look at Resilient, when I've been asked the same question, it all starts off with a single person, with a single laptop, then somebody joins them, and then they're emailing things back and forth. I say, once you start to get to 3 to 4 to 5 laptops, you really should have an IT structure in place, because who's got the latest version? Did I send it to you? Where's it stored? Where's the backups? That's when. Same with payroll. You just need to go, listen, I'm too busy running my own business now. You sort it for me.
Yeah, and that's what we're allowing people to do. People can grow their businesses on the back of us worrying about that Bob's getting paid right.
Yeah.
And Bob's done 15 hours overtime. And I might get an email once a month saying, what's Bob worth this time? and that's it. That's probably the only communication we'll have. that's what we've been doing this week, emailing people out saying, well, what have you really worked this month? Are there any changes I need to be aware of?
Yes.
And so they've come back in and we processed and trying to process early this month because half term next week.
Well, of course. I take it, again, forgive me, Martin, it may sound like an obvious question, but if somebody's employing your services and the early pay rise comes around again, I'm assuming that's something that you just, obviously the customer itself negotiates, we're going to give you a 5%, whatever.
Yeah.
But that then is just fed to you and you sort that all out for them.
Yeah. We tell the system what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
One of the systems allows us to do a bulk upgrade.
Excellent.
We just put 5% in, or you can put 50 pence rise or a pound rise.
Of course. Yeah.
And off it goes. It does it. Does back pay as well.
Excellent.
And so, we're coming up to that time. Minimum wage goes up again. So people will be looking at that and making sure everyone's on the right rate. We check, obviously, as we're running the payrolls every time to make sure they are.
Yeah.
Some companies where they've got salary sacrifice pensions, they might need to give somebody a higher increase to make them,
course.
because you've still got to be compliant with national minimum wage after salary sacrifice, or they need to change the pension provisions, and we'll advise on that. You can't, if you can't pay somebody minimum wage and do salary sacrifice pensions or a bike scheme or whatever, because that takes them below. And you can't, that's illegal.
But absolutely, man. But again, that's an excellent point leading me on to my next point. All of the changes that happen in terms of payroll, the payroll and the scheme. Again, that's your role in life to help these companies. So do you sometimes get companies going, what that thing that's just announced, how does it affect me?
Yeah. Everyone's panicking at the moment about statutory sick pay and it coming in from day one.
Yeah.
And that's not strictly the case.
No. Whilst
the government's selling it as that, there are some caveats around that. But in theory, it's a benefit for people.
Yeah, definitely.
People are worried about that. You've got to have contracts in place. The Employment Rights Act's come in, and so people are worrying about that. Yeah, it's not as bad as it was during COVID where things were changing every 10 seconds.
Yes.
But we've got to be on top of the ball. But we do a bit of HR.
Yes,
we've got to know HR laws because...
Of course.
Because there's things that HR do that affect payroll.
Yes. Yeah. But again, it's having that knowledge, isn't it? And me and Adam constantly bang on about it. Instead of trying to sit there on an evening, running your business is hard enough. What the heck does this mean to you? It is, hi, Martin, how does this affect me? You can either say, listen, it will affect you, blah, 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 or no, don't worry about it, I've got it sorted. To me, that's peace of mind.
Yeah, and there's the odd occasion where somebody comes out with something that you've never come across before. It's like, I'll come back to you on that one. But then we go away and we use our network of advisors and,
of course,
and search the answer that's tailored to that particular individual.
Yeah.
And go back to them and say, right, this is what it means. It's going to cost you X if you do this. If you do Y, it's going to cost you nothing.
Yeah. Or here are the advantages, here are the disadvantages. Again, it's all about that, trust. It's all about that knowledge, because nobody can be a master of everything. I would employ you just to say, fine, sort out the HR for me, sort out the payroll for me. That's easy for them to do, and it's putting that trust in you because I know you're an expert. I'm no expert on that.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying.
I really like that. I really like that. So again, when you walk into a business, and let's say they are bringing you in to review their payroll, to review their systems, without sort of like giving away the customer names, do you find common mistakes? Like you were just saying there, I just run the payroll. I don't even bother submitting the HMRC thing. So what are the most common things?
Yeah. There are lots. When I'm contracting, there are lots of people think that they're unique, and certain bits of their circumstances are unique, but their problems within the system are the same across all parties. Everybody's got issues with working out absence or running minimum wage checks. With some of the bigger systems, struggle with it. Average holiday pay, that's a nightmare. The right thing to do, but trying to administer it because the rules and the legislation are so woolly. That it's a nightmare, and no system will do it perfectly.
Nope.
Some systems won't even do it because their view is that the rules are too woolly. To implement. You can't. The one company came across they paid a certain payment if you were of good character. How in terms of a technology point of view, how do you determine So yeah, whilst everybody's different, a lot of the problems are the same. Payroll is the basis of payroll, tax, national insurance, pensions are the same across the piece, and everybody's business has got its own nuances, but the theory behind it's the same, and that helps when you go into different companies to talk about these things because, the tax is tax.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Do you have any customers that are in outside of the UK? No, because I was going to say that must cause a few nightmares if you were doing things like that.
The Republic of Ireland's payroll is very, very similar to ours.
Right, okay.
And their tax system is very similar to ours, but they're not. We've got a couple of companies where their head office is America, Australia.
Right.
Which brings its own...
Interesting.
Yeah, because they don't get why our tax months run from the 6th of the month to the 5th of the following month.
Yes.
And I've tried to explain that to them.
On numerous occasions.
But it goes back to Napoleonic times and the calendar changes. Seriously, there's a whole document out there on why.
No. Yeah. Oh my goodness me.
Yeah, and that's why. That's why the tax year starts the 6th of April. It's all to do with the Napoleonic War and changing in the calendars.
That's interesting, that isn't it? Who would have believed it would go that far back?
Yeah.
Wow, exciting. Silly question, but I need to understand. From your point of view, how does a business get the payroll wrong, and what impact does that have on the business, do you feel?
So a lack of understanding of the legislation around working out tax, national insurance, the minimum wage. Lots of employees are still paying below the minimum wage.
Gosh, I wouldn't have thought they were allowed to do that at all.
Oh, they're not, but
they are.
But they do, and the government publishes a list of the big companies it fines, and there's some big names on there.
Goodness me.
And that's that's the basic stuff here. The random stuff where they pay overtime at time and 7/12, for example, right?
What?
Time and 7/12 is a thing.
What? Surely that's just more complications.
Yeah, but somebody leaves, the next person comes in, they start looking at what's gone on before, and then you start identifying all these issues, either because the previous person did it wrong or the new person's got a lack of understanding of what the company does, and that's where these mistakes come from.
Yeah.
And then they get compounded and go on, and then, you have to then try and unpick it.
But if the last part of that question, and what do you feel if the payroll's gone wrong? I mean, surely that just creates a whole world of problem for the company.
Yeah, the employees are going to be annoyed.
Yeah.
So there you've got low morale. They're going to slow down their outputs.
Yeah.
Therefore, your business starts losing money. You're going to lose once you've investigated your issue. You're going to be down on money because you're going to have to fix it.
Yes.
Or come up with a settlement to try and buy that close out or whatever. So it's a money thing. It's a time thing, actually, the time to sit and go through maybe 10, 15 years worth of records to see what you've paid people. And then it's, what do I do with the people that have left in that meantime? Do we pay them? Do we try and find them? And some companies won't do it. Some companies will. And some of the bigger companies will go out there and they'll put stuff in the press and say, look, if you've worked for us between this time and this time, please get in touch. We've discovered
it's calculated,
and you owed some money, and then people
nice thing to do.
Yeah.
But I think what you're saying there is you're quite right. If you have got an issue with your payroll, morale, reputation, because obviously people will just talk in the pub going, I've been paid wrong and stuff. So if it's like anything. You just suddenly, I wouldn't work for them then, would I? But that's very damaging. And that, again, if they employ somebody with your services, not that I want to say that it's your fault, but you would never let it get to that situation.
No, hopefully not. I mean, there's the old adage that you put rubbish in, you get rubbish out. So if we get told that people are getting paid this and they should be getting paid something totally different, then we're scuppered as well.
Well, of course.
It does look bad on us, but we can only work with the onus is on the employer to give us the right information.
All right. Here's an interesting question. I will take on somebody, an apprentice. I know what the minimum wage is, but I come to you, you're doing my payroll for me, and I'm going, okay, Martyn, pay this guy, but I don't want him paying the minimum wage. I'm only going to pay him half that. Is that something that you would immediately flag with me?
Yes.
Would you allow me to do that?
No.
So again, it's that morale, it's that whole, no, I would find it incredulous that you do that, Andy.
Yeah, if that company wanted to push that, then we would be terminating our services and saying,
And quite rightly so, though,
you
isn't it?
need to go elsewhere and find
because I'm not willing to do that for you. Again, forgive me. If you said yes and then I got found out, that would obviously impact you, which is why you would say, I'm not happy to do this.
That affects my reputation. Certainly in the contracting world and the bureau world, word of mouth is king.
Wildfire.
Yeah. If you do something wrong, then people find out about it. It's a small community.
Small community.
And we all talk to each other.
Well, of course you would do. It just seems simple.
Even though we are rivals in some respects.
Competitors.
But yeah, we do still share war stories and we do still share goings on. And
well, of course you would. Absolutely. So yeah, I'm pleased about that. I know you wouldn't do it anyway, but I think it's important to have that. No, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. And I certainly sometimes get asked a question about, what would you recommend, Andy, for this particular piece of work we're doing? What software, what hardware? And I would go, right, minimum is this, high specification of that. Can you go any cheaper? No, because all I'll end up doing is you'll end up giving me the issue. So no, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's my baseline.
And then they end up paying you to fix the issue anyway.
100%.
Might as well have paid it out in the first place.
Well, exactly right, my friend. Exactly right. How do you feel? What does a good payroll, again, assuming that I'm utilising your services, for me as a manager, what does a good payroll feel like when it's inside a business? Is it sort of like almost transparent? It's just a cog that's running constantly?
Yes and no. That's how it should be.
Yes.
Payroll within businesses doesn't really have a home.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Some places will say it's HR, some people will say it's finance.
Yeah.
And in theory, it sits between them both because payroll are the sole source of truth for all the employee data.
Yeah.
Because we need that to tell HMRC, but we're also the majority of the sole source for a lot of the accountancy work.
Fair point. Yeah.
Businesses pay, 70, 80% of their money goes out on payroll.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
So, we payroll's stuck in between the two. And some companies will fight over it and it needs to be here and it needs to be there. And it's we just want to pay people, leave us alone and let's crack on with it. But we've got when I worked on the railway, we went out and did workshops at different places. We went around to visit the line managers. We were always not always on the road because we had to pay people.
No, but I know what you mean.
We'd go out and we'd run road shows here, there and everywhere and say, look, have you got any problems? Tell your staff we're here. We're going to be here sat in this room for 8 hours. Come along, bring us a biscuit, bring us a brew.
Yeah, of course.
Talk to us about your payroll. If you've got an issue, if you think something's wrong with it, got an issue with your tax, we'll try and explain and tell you where to signpost you the way to go. And HMRC don't talk to us about individual employees.
No.
But we can signpost you in the right direction. We can say you need to speak to this number or that number and try and give them the best advice we can.
That's lovely to hear because you're right. You will probably get some people that are being paid but maybe want to ask a question, but like, I didn't ask anybody. But when you were in the National Rail, perfect. Somebody would be able to go, do me a favour, I've got this question, but I feel stupid asking. But no, absolutely no such thing.
Yeah, and a lot of the questions were, I've worked same shift as Bob and he's got more money than me. Why is that? So many different reasons. It could be on a different tax code.
Yes.
Could be overstate pension age, so don't pay national insurance.
Yeah. Loads of different reasons, isn't
could
it?
pay more into his pension.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that was always a common question. I work the same hours in, but he's got more money.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, because he's stealing from the... No.
Well, that's what people do. Because people compare pay slips and...
Yeah. Why are you getting paid more? Why am I paying more national insurance than you? But there's a load of different reasons.
Yeah, and when I first started, then, you do look at people's pay slips because we got that information.
You've got it there.
Yeah, but after a couple of months, it's like, I don't care. It's just a number. It's just numbers as long as the numbers look right.
Yeah.
Fine.
No, that's very good in terms of that. You mentioned a lot about, people could potentially would employ you to do implementations, system rebuilds. When somebody comes to you, Martyn, and says, can you review Or can you migrate the data from XSZ? What do businesses underestimate the most?
Time and cost.
Yeah.
They think that they can do that within 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
No.
No.
Not of a relatively mid-sized company, 3,000 employees.
Right.
You could be talking 4 or 5 months to do.
Well, of course, yeah.
And yeah, the people that are signing the bills to pay for this stuff don't appreciate the work that goes into it. They've been sold a product and they want it in because they think that's the dog's dangle is, and off we go.
No, damn right.
And yeah, it's the time and the cost they don't appreciate those, and people's time, especially the internal people.
Yeah.
Because they've still got the day-to-day job to run.
Of course.
So they either have to bring in extra resource and backfill
Their
payroll
jobs,
manager, or they bring in someone like me who sits outside of the structure and to do that.
Yeah, that's the same in everything, though. Prior to setting up Resilient and prior to working with this other company, I was in a plastic moulding injection company. I worked in their IT department, and we got a brand new ERP system in. And that was the one thing. The salesman had sold us this. Then you get the delivering people going, well, actually, it doesn't do that.
Yep.
But the salesperson is just going, I don't care, you've sold it to me now and I've got my commission. And absolutely every time, and even oddly enough, when I think about it, moving to this other company that helped implement solutions for ERP, the amount of time was the massive underestimation because it had such a knock-on, not only to the systems, but to people as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You will always get, I'm assuming, if you're moving from one system to the other, you will get that resistance, that anxiety by going, but I've always used this software and I've always done this.
People don't like change.
They don't do them. No. You've got to help. And, this is going to be better for you, believe me. But that's a real difficult thing to force on people.
And people have that worry that they're not going to get paid.
Yeah.
It's going to go wrong and then they're left without money.
Yeah, and also it's their fault.
Yeah. And that's what we go to work for. Is that we go to get paid.
100%. So when you're looking at, let's pick specifically a data migration, what does that mean to you? Because obviously you are right. People will be going, well, all the data's in there that I've used and I love this system. I love it. But when it moves to here, people must just think, oh my God, it's all going to go wrong. So what does a data migration mean to you? And how would you convince me as a company that, don't worry, these are the things that I'm going to do to put in place and protect you?
So the first thing is to see what's in the old system.
Right.
And how much of that they want to bring over.
Right, okay.
And yes, some people say we want all of it.
Of course they would do, wouldn't they?
And it's like, no, that's not feasible because you've got 200 years worth of data in there. And we don't need to bring employee records for people that retired in 1963 across. So what do we want to do with that data? We can store that in an Excel spreadsheet. There are other ad hoc databases you can use to store that data in and analyze it easily. And that's the first bit, is to work out what they want to keep, what they want to archive.
Yeah.
I'm using archive in its loosest possible term, but
I do know
store elsewhere. Store elsewhere. And then once you've cut that down, you've suddenly gone from 2 million records to maybe 10,000.
Yeah.
So that makes it slightly easier. Then it's a matter of working out where that data is going to live in the new system. So yeah, we've got to data map it all across. Check the data guides for the new system, for the data routines to import data, and then start building spreadsheet after spreadsheet. and that's getting easy with time. Don't get me wrong, it's not as complicated as it was when we had the Y2K issue and we
don't mention. That's the second time I've heard that today, the Y2K. I'm old enough to remember it.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, that, Excel was in its infancy. Yeah, but now we've got Power Query stashed in the back.
Power BI, absolutely. You've got all of that.
These tools are godsends. Now Copilot can help me reformat stuff into move columns about, because you'll always find that addresses are, people's addresses are in.
Absolutely.
When you've split them out in common delimited them, they're all over. Then you put the new system wants address 1, address 2.
Of course it does.
Town, county, postcode. And you've got them all on one line. So you've got to split them up, and Copilot and AI are good at doing that stuff for you without having to spend the time
No, absolutely. But while you're migrating the systems, you've still got to run the payroll. So again, you've got to be mindful that you can't break the system. Sorry, people, we're not paying you for 2 months while we migrate. That's not going to happen now, is it?
So we would load it all into a dev database.
Yeah.
Make sure it's working, do the parallel runs depending on when we're going live.
Yeah.
Do the parallel run either in the dev, or we've done a second data migration to bring the new data into live just like 2 months before going live, and then we've got a parallel run for 2 months.
Yeah.
And then,
Perfect. You mentioned about...
That sounds really easy when you say that.
I was going to say, it's not easy at all, I can guarantee you. Before we move on, because you mentioned AI, which is really quite interesting, but when people come to you and they would say, well, my pay system's rubbish. You know, it's completely rubbish and completely crap. Where do you find the problem is? And again, I'm trying to get out of you. Is it the system? Is it the people? Is it just the way? Is it the lack of understanding?
It's all of those things, to be honest.
Okay, it's all of them, right? That's fair enough.
No, that's very general answer. It's a combination of everything that the people don't understand what they've bought and what the system's capable of.
Right.
A lot of times, as you've said, salespeople will tell you the system will do X, and that's not the case. You've got to tailor your processes to match the system, which is wrong. The system should be the other way around.
Yes,
but
100%.
9 times out of 10, that doesn't happen. So you've got to change the way you work to make the system, and then that adds in more complications. That it's going to take you longer to do this process, whereas before it was a 10-second job. Now it's 2 hours because you've got to go through these hoops.
Yeah.
But they're the common things. That's where it's...
Have you had a complete disaster? Nothing to do with, like, say, I don't want to say that you've done it wrong, but has it been a sort of like, sorry, we've got to start all over again because of misunderstanding or a data misunderstanding? Yeah.
Once for the nationwide retailer.
Oh, my goodness me, right, yeah.
And they ended up choosing a different solution because...
Because of that issue, yeah. And I think that's very important nowadays. We all talk about, use of software, Copilot and coming on. But some people can choose a particular piece of software and they fight tooth and nail to make it work. And when it's the wrong tool. Move. Yeah. But it'll cost us a fortune to move. It's costing you a fortune to try and make it work for you.
Yeah. And sometimes you've got to bite that bullet.
You have, haven't you?
And try not to get the software that ties you in for 10 years. You've got to pay the... You've got to pay the penalty to get out.
Got to pay the penalty fee. So,
the system's got to work for you, not the other way around.
No.
And people don't do that. People will fall into the trap of, this looks whizzy because they've seen a demonstration.
Oh, gosh, I know. Yeah.
But it's not really like that.
No, it isn't, is it? It's got to make it work for you and the way your business runs. Yeah. So quite rightly, you've said about that. Let's switch gears. So obviously technology, but how do you use technology? Not specifically AI, Martyn, but how do you use technology to run your business and provide the excellent service that you give to your customers?
So... we use various softwares.
Right.
We're operating 2 different payroll softwares at the minute.
Right.
We've both got different uses, different needs, but different business sectors. So that's fine. That works. So we've got but the outputs we used to store in SharePoint.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
We utilize SharePoint and the sites within SharePoint for each customer, stored their data in there, and their monthly reports and outputs all went in there. So we weren't sending stuff electronically. We're just sending a link that only specific people
access. Of course.
People, for whatever reason, have issues with Microsoft, trying to get access to it.
I find it incredibly easy.
Me too, but the one customer's software provider, the IT provider, ended up locking them out of Microsoft products.
Wow.
And so somebody we've worked with in the past had seen a niche in the market for some payroll management software.
Right, okay.
Similar to the way the accountants have their practice software.
Yes.
Same principle. So Bright have a suite of stuff.
Yeah.
And Bright Manager is one of those. And so they've created it's in the infancy, but it's coming along nicely. So we now use that as our de facto storage for reports.
Yeah.
It's got a built-in messaging tool. It's got built-in queries.
Nice.
People can upload the changes to it rather than sending spreadsheets or paper.
Of course.
They can physically go in, fill a form in on this system. It then alerts us to say, here you go, Bob sent a change here.
Oh, very nice.
So that's one aspect of it. Payroll software is forever changing.
Of course, yes.
The they're all the historic software that lots of companies still use, and it still does its job.
Yeah.
It's still client-based.
Yeah.
And when I first was setting up and I was out contracting, a client-based software wouldn't work because you can't put these things on your iPad.
No.
So one of my requirements when I set up was cloud-based software.
Yes,
from the off.
100%.
So yeah, we try and avoid the client-based stuff because it's antiquated. And
Well, of course, and I think when I'm talking to most of my customers, and again, let's not get into the whole Microsoft, Google, whatever it is. For most of my customers, they are Microsoft based, and it does mean that exact thing, Martyn. It's as far as I tell them, I'm like, it's agnostic. I don't care. iPad, mobile phone, Apple, Android, Linux, Windows, Mac. I don't care. It works.
Yeah.
And that's what you want, don't you?
And unfortunately, with the Mac ecosystem, Microsoft takes some stuff off you.
Yeah.
Excel, so I have to have a Windows laptop just in case I need to do some.
Yeah,
I need to do some proper data manipulation using Power Query.
Yeah.
Because it's not there in
the Mac version for whatever reason. I don't understand neither.
So
I don't understand that.
So yeah, technology is always changing. We're always looking at ways to try and implement different things.
Yeah.
One of the softwares we use has a built-in timesheet module, which works either through the app on your phone or through you can create a kiosk using a laptop or
Very nice.
iPad.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's loads of different ways that technology is coming on, and yeah, we try and work it to our best advantage.
Positive. So let's touch on the AI. Obviously, you said that you used AI to help you in terms of that. But can you see AI completely doing payroll for you?
No.
No, I couldn't think of that neither. But when I wrote the question, I was like, there must be some aspects that AI can help you.
Yeah.
It can never integrate fully.
Yeah, so the automation is probably going to be the next big thing in payroll.
Yes.
There's lots of talk in the payroll trade press. We've got a payroll magazine.
Yeah.
That's
an interesting read.
It is, to be fair.
I was going to say, it must be because of all the advances coming.
But it's one of those publications you would expect to see on the end of "Have I got news for you?"
Yes.
It's one of those. But yeah, they're always talking about AI and automation. Automation's got to be there.
Oh, yes.
You just put people in, you tick a box, say, I want this payroll to run every month, and I never want to touch it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we do with our director-only payrolls.
Right.
No changes until the tax threshold changes. They're not going to get paid anymore.
No.
And so, yeah, then we just tick it, off it goes. And it sends the reports out once a month. And
perfect.
Yeah, jobs are good.
Jobs are good. You mentioned about using AI to get clever, though, in terms of doing that. We've said it before. We will say it again. We had a fantastic meeting demonstration by Pascal, who told about AI. But that thing that you mentioned that I was just inwardly smiling at, you've got a piece of software that expects the data in this format. You're being given that. To me, I'm just like, AI, just sort that for me. And it must be a godsend to you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Lots of the software now, though, will allow you to map your own fields.
Oh, even better. Yeah.
But that's only in maybe the last 5 years they've done that.
Yeah, I must admit. Yeah.
Some of the bigger software that I work with, their structures are still rigid.
Yeah.
Column headers have got to be all in capitals.
Yes.
And but then these are the software we use. And just take a normal Excel spreadsheet, any old data header, and then you map it to their fields. Boom, job's done.
Funny enough, I was doing a job for a customer the other month where their data needed migrating, and the biggest issue was, funnily enough, it was the address field, because they'd had loads of people over the years entering the data. Everybody did it differently. Everybody had commas, semicolons, colons, uppercase, lowercase, uppercase, and you just look at the data, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But actually, you just go, I tell you what, here, Copilot, this is the format structure. This is actually the output that I want. And I must admit, it got it about 95% there.
Yeah. That's certainly one of the simpler things that you have to do. I use it a lot I'm struggling with an Excel formula.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect for that, isn't it?
Especially when you start messing around, when you get into H lookups and all these really wonderful things. It's like, just tell me what I need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel as though, because I got asked this question this morning, do you feel as though AI devalues people's roles?
To be honest, I never thought about it. But no, I don't think it does, because you still need the AI, whilst it's learning from what you're doing, it still needs somebody to tell it what to do.
Well, exactly.
So, and with ChatGPT, and people are making shed loads of money have been prompt masters, and you've got to get your prompt right to get the right. And
Yeah.
So AI still needs people.
It does, doesn't it? Because you're quite right. If you're putting into Copilot about the Excel spreadsheet, all it can do is tell you what it thinks is the right formula. You, at the end of the day, have still got to go, that's the right figure. That's the right value. That's the answer I'm looking for.
And it's the same with the payroll. It can't do it because somebody needs to validate that number at the end.
Correct.
Yeah, you can calculate the tax and the national insurance because that's a straightforward mathematical figure.
Yeah.
But somebody somewhere needs to say, that's right.
Yeah.
That doesn't look right. Why has Bob got a £2 million tax refund? and so, we're never going to quite get rid of people just yet from
probably not.
Hopefully not in my lifetime.
No, I was going to say, though, if someone is, because I'm obviously looking at the time, is already rattling through, if someone is out there and they feel as though their payroll system isn't working for them, apart from picking up the phone and speaking to you, what are the things that they are what are the things that they identify are wrong that should be going, whoa, there's an alarm bell. Why is that happening? Or why is that? Why do I need a Martyn?
So, that's a very...
I've done my homework.
Yeah. I guess they need to understand what they want, first of all. That's 90% of the issue, that people need to know what they want. If you don't know what you want, then you're never going to get an answer.
Yeah.
So once if you think the payroll is making your life complicated because you can't put new starters on until X time in the month.
Right.
So, but if that's then linked to your clocking system, you need them on the day they start, but the system won't let you do it until...
Never thought of that, yeah.
2 weeks later, then that's an issue. So you need to be speaking to the providers and saying, right, why is this a delay? I need this. Why
can't I do it now?
Yeah, and talk to your provider and say, look, what's the issue? Why are you stopping me from doing what I need to do?
Good point, well made. Oh, that's very good. So, what should? Again, this is probably a generic question for people like yourself, Martyn, and of course other people, payroll providers, but what should they be looking at? I must admit, when I looked at your website, I thought you made it exceptionally clear that if I was a new business starting, your website was very informative. I went, okay, there's 5 users, it's going to cost me that. So that's what I loved about looking at your website. But what should, if a company is looking for a payroll provider service, you and others, what should they be looking for?
Cost's important.
Yeah,
always. Cost.
Yeah.
That's why you're looking to do it. You're looking to save time and you're looking to save money. But you've got to be able to trust the person. You've got to have a bit of a rapport with them.
Yeah.
Whilst, touch wood, you're never going to speak to them because everything's going right. You need to have that rapport to say, yeah, I trust mine to do their job.
Yes.
And so you've got to build that rapport very, very quickly.
Yes, you will have to.
And that's key. You want somebody in that position that you trust.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no point. And on that basis, we don't tie people into long-term contracts because if something's not working for whatever reason, fine.
Situations change, Martyn. I do have an annual maintenance contract. I say it's an annual maintenance contract, but if somebody comes to me and go, look, Andy, situations have changed. I needed it. I'm never the one good. No, you signed up for. I'm like, that's fine. What can we do to help?
Yeah, and that's what it should be. But some providers will tie you in for 12 months, 2 years, whatever.
3 years, yeah. Exactly.
And for me, like I say, if something goes wrong, something changes, you need to get out of it. Then, and it could be simple as we've made a mess of it.
Yeah.
And so, fine, I'm going to say, right, what do you want me to give you data-wise for your new provider?
Yeah.
I'll do what I can to assist you to make sure it's right.
I think that's important, Martyn. We did have a situation a few years back where a customer of mine moved away to another IT provider, and that was fine. Situations changed and it demanded it. I ended up speaking to this other IT provider, and basically at the end of it, the guy he went, Andy, I can't thank you enough. He says, you've actually lost a business. We're taking away that business, and yet you have been so helpful. I'm like, but why would I be an idiot? At the end of the day, that customer wants you to hear you say, Andy was fantastic, because something might change that your company might not be, and it comes back to me. It's important to always maintain that, isn't it?
Yeah, and without a doubt, and you've got to have that. You've got to be able to do that because word of mouth.
Of course.
And we've moved away from
X,
Andy.
Yeah.
But Andy was great in accommodating us to do that. We've explained why. Andy gets why we've done it. But it's helped us.
Yeah.
And, you know, if X hadn't have happened, we would still be there.
Correct.
And so for your circumstances, Andy could be the man for you to speak to.
Totally agree. In terms of, again, just wrapping up, so what's the quickest win most businesses could implement tomorrow, apart from saying, have me? That would be great, wouldn't it? It says, yep, employ me.
To understand where your pinch points are, if payroll...
Is a pinch point? Yeah.
If it's taking you 2 days a month to do your payroll, then that's a pinch point. But you've got to be open to change.
Yes.
And that's half the battle. You've got to be open to change and willing to take that step and look at the unknown and look what's out there. And whether that be me or Joe down the road or whoever, that's not immaterial. The point is that you could benefit your business by making that change.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid and do it.
No, I'm loving that. I always tell the story as well. It's quite funny. I've got a lovely customer. I love him to bits. He's a lawyer, so he's obviously, he's highly well paid. And yet, when he rings me, Andy, I need you to fix this for me. I've already tried for 4 hours, and I'm like, you're on so much money an hour. Why didn't you just... I don't like paying people, Andy. And I'm like, but you could have been spending those 4 hours earning your massive salary.
Yeah. and that's it. That we will sort your problems out, or my competitors will sort your problems out, because that's what we're there to do.
Oh, lovely, Martyn, lovely. Before I ask the last bit, what's next for you? You said, so forgive me, you've said yourself, there's a partner that you work for, so there's two of you, or are there more?
So there's me and a colleague in the business operating the payrolls.
Yeah.
They work mainly on the bureau. And
lovely.
More contracting.
Yeah.
Some bureau. So we're trying to grow the bureau side of it.
Of course.
We want that to be self-sustaining and washing its face.
Nice.
Without the contracting.
Yeah.
Propping that up.
Yeah. That's positive to do.
And we're working on that. So we've just sent out these in the process of sending out 2,000 postcards.
Yeah. But that's good. That's growth.
Yeah. It's just the postage is suddenly expensive.
Well, I get that. But
so we're getting there with that. But there are other things we can be doing. We're trying to work with other accountants.
Lovely.
To try and say, look, do you want to, if you've got a need to offer payroll, we can white label it for you so that it looks like it's coming from you, but we're doing all the graft.
Do you know what? I think that's a lovely idea, because oddly enough, I do have accountants as customers, and one of the things that I actually think they don't like doing is payroll, because that's not what they're built for. It's like, no, we do accounts. We don't want to do payroll.
Yeah, it's not done for their service.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. And it sucks up their resources, because they've got to find the right person that understands the payroll.
Correct.
In the first place.
Yeah.
So, we're just in the process of bringing in a second accountant.
Lovely.
White labeling one of our products for them, so
Perfect.
that their customers believe that they're doing the payroll. We've got an email address, payroll at whatever.
Yeah.
So all the communications
Looks as though, yeah.
Yeah, and that's how it should be.
Lovely.
Fine. And that's all fine. So that's the way we're looking at growing.
Good.
Partnering with accountants, doing our own stuff, and at some point trying to cut back on the contracting.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Like I say, it keeps the money coming in. So.
No, exactly.
Which allows me to pay the rent and stay here.
Which is exactly what you need to do. So I take it, you're not going to grow to like 20 people, but you'd just like to grow certain parts of the business,
Yeah, we want to grow the bureau side, and if we've got two or three full-timers doing that, that's fine. I can slow down. I don't want to say I'm getting old, but I am.
Yes.
55 last Sunday.
Oh, happy birthday for them.
So,
I'm 57, man.
I'm starting to... my body's starting to tell me that you can't run around the country like you do.
Yes.
For social and work activities. I'm just not there anymore.
No, exactly.
So, that's got to be the next consideration.
Lovely.
Personally, is what's my escape route? How do I retire? How do I want to retire? Do I want to keep the business going and get other people to run it on my behalf, and I just keep dipping in and out as and when? There's all that to take into account.
Lovely things to do. I'd love to do that. Hand over the business to somebody. Be a silent part. Me silent. I don't think I would ever be silent. But me just like, fine, just keep paying me. That's lovely. So finally, my friend, where can people find out about you? How do they get in contact with you? How do they start that conversation?
On the website,
right?
cheneypayrollservices.co.uk.
We'll put a link to that, and we'll definitely do all of that for you.
On Facebook, we're on Instagram. We're on X as well, but we don't really use
Who uses X nowadays?
Exactly. I'll just pick up the phone and give us a ring. We're always
Fantastic.
available.
Always available to have a chat. Martyn, it's been absolutely fantastic. A definite, interesting dip into the world of payroll.
Thank you very much.
No, that's what I'm saying. So, what are you doing for the weekend? What do you do to relax and have fun?
So, in the wintertime,
Yeah.
not a lot.
No.
We try and catch up on life and partnering the kids. In the summer, I run a rugby league team.
Oh,
Still down
lovely.
in Leeds. I'm the chairman, kit man, website, video editor.
Everything.
Pretty much everything, yeah. That's how it feels some days.
Some days, yeah.
And we're also involved in bike racing.
Lovely.
British
Right.
Superbikes.
Right.
We sponsor a rider in British Superbikes.
I never would have guessed by looking at all the photographs in your office.
I know. So we were at the rider's wedding last Saturday in Hereford.
Oh, beautiful.
So, that starts up in April and we'll be doing Oulton Park, Donington Park twice, Knockhill, Aston. I've missed one. There's somewhere else.
And somewhere else.
Yeah. So summers are spent around rugby and bike race. We also sponsor another lady rider in a lower series,
Lovely.
who I discovered that one of the facilities guys upstairs on the third floor.
Oh, no way. What a small world.
He rides in this. He's in the same series, but not in the same class as her.
Right, okay, that'll be James, won't it? James Logan from Facility 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
one of my customers as well.
Yeah,
He's bike racer.
He was wandering down the corridor and not bread on my door.
And said,
Tuesday.
"Hey."
Yeah, I want to come and look at all your memorabilia. And so I'm telling him, he's like, oh, yeah, racing No Limits. I'm like,
No way.
I'm like, yeah. I said, no. I said, yeah. That's why I've got a No Limits trophy just there from Bike Riding. I said, we sponsor him and we sponsor this girl. He's, oh, yeah, I know. I don't know the name, but then I showed him a picture.
And he went,
I know, yeah. So, it's a very small world. So,
It is a very small world. Well, oddly enough, Facility 6 came to us because James rides a motorbike with Graham, who runs PDS, who I do their IT. So when James went, I'm looking for somebody IT, bless him, Graham went, speak to Andy.
Yeah.
And that's what you say, word of mouth.
Yeah, that's what it's about, But the biking and the rugby, been involved with them for years. Even if I wasn't sponsoring the riders,
Right.
I would still be going to the bikes because I love going. We've been going to the bikes.
How many years?
25 years regularly.
Good.
Because we sponsor the lady in the No Limits, they come to Croft,
Yes, of course.
just down the road.
Just down the road, yeah.
And so it means I can take my partner's kids, and knowing full well that if they get bored, we're not far from home.
Yeah.
But because we know a rider, they loved it there last week.
can imagine.
They were like, oh, can we go meet her? I'm like, yeah, of course we can. So we went around the garage and they sat on the bike and they got pictures and we sat in the caravan with the mum and we were having a good one. But there's an app,
Right.
timing app, and then on the second tab there's like a map with dots, so it shows you where everybody is on the track.
Lovely.
Yeah, the kids were into that. But then red flag comes out. Oh, somebody's crashed. Youngest one, somebody's crashed. And this racer's mum's like, well, that's what you all come for. and technically she's right. People go to the bike race and see the people rubbing up against each other and people come off. But my view now, and I was the same, but once you get to know people in the paddock, it's different.
Of course.
And it's like the rider that we sponsor, he crashed at Brands Hatch 2 years ago, split his bike in half, knocked himself silly.
Yeah.
And I saw it happen on telly. It was one of the races I didn't go to, but I'd seen it happen on telly. You just saw him flashing along the grass.
Oh, bless.
And then next thing he's on his knees and it's like, sugar, that's not good. And then, because I know him quite well, it's like, right, I want to know if he's all right. But you can't text because...
Well, of course.
You don't want to worry his partner, his dad, everybody that I know in the family. And it's like, yes. And then you message pops up, rider okay. And it's like...
Oh, thank goodness,
Yeah. But that 10, 15 minutes...
Can imagine.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
And we like the track racing more than the TT and roads because there's less chance of dying.
Well, of course.
There's still chance of dying. The guy that's on the wall in the office at the top of the back, he sadly passed away at Donington Park.
Oh, bless.
So, it's not without its risks.
No, but exciting sport to watch. And obviously, if you're involved in that in terms of sponsoring, must be really good for you as well. Nice feeling.
Yeah. we get the advertising.
Well, of course.
We're on the television, but it's knowing that we've helped somebody
Of course.
to get to where they want to be.
Oh, very good. Well, Martyn, listen, as I say, absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. That's been fascinating. And I assume people are boring payroll, but actually there's quite a lot to be involved in that. So thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
Hopefully everybody has a good weekend, and we'll see everybody next week. Thank you very much. See you later. Bye.